This story came to me from a girl. Her name wasn't Lisa. Not really. I changed it because, even now, she's scared that somehow he might hear her name and find her again. When she told me this story, she looked me dead in the eyes and said, "I thought breaking up would be the worst part." But that's when the real nightmare started. She wasn't exaggerating. Lisa met Jacob when she was 25. She had just moved to a small city in Oregon. Eugene, I think, after college. Fresh start, new apartment, new job at a veterinary clinic. Jacob was one of the first people she met. He worked at a hardware store nearby. Funny, a little shy, the kind of guy who remembered your favorite snack after one date. Lisa liked that. He didn't talk over her, didn't dominate the conversation. He listened. So when they started dating, it felt easy, comfortable, like she could finally breathe. But by month 3, little things started bothering her. He got irritated if she didn't text back fast enough. Wanted to know where she was for safety. He once showed up at her clinic during her lunch break, unannounced, with a sandwich and a forced smile. "You forgot to tell me your lunch plans," he said. "I just didn't want you to eat alone." Sweet, right? But something about it felt wrong. Then there were the coincidences. Running into him at the grocery store 3 times in 1 week. Him showing up outside her apartment at 11 p.m. because, quote, "I thought I saw someone following you earlier. Just wanted to make sure." She tried to shake it off, convince herself it was love, that he just cared too much. But on their 6-month anniversary, she finally admitted it to herself. She didn't feel safe. She broke up with him that night. No fight, no yelling. She told him gently, clearly, that it was over. Jacob didn't argue. He just stood up from the restaurant booth, looked at her and said, "You'll be back. You just need time." She never replied, just watched him walk out the door. The following week was quiet. Too quiet, actually. No texts, no calls, no messages. She started thinking maybe she'd overreacted. Until one night, she came home and her apartment smelled different. Not bad, not strong, just like someone else had been inside. Nothing was missing. But the window in her bedroom was unlocked. She never left windows unlocked. 2 days later, her neighbor, an older woman named Cheryl, stopped her in the hallway. "Sweetheart," she said, "your boyfriend's been stopping by while you're at work. I see him in the hallway sometimes, just pacing." Lisa froze. "He's not my boyfriend," she said. "We broke up 2 weeks ago." Cheryl's eyes widened. "Then who's been coming out of your apartment?" Lisa changed her locks the next day, bought a camera doorbell, started keeping a bat next to her bed. For a while, nothing happened. But one night, around 3:12 a.m., her phone buzzed. No caller ID. She let it go to voicemail. When she listened to it in the morning, she dropped the phone. It was the sound of her sleeping, breathing, shifting under the covers. And right before the message ended, a man's whisper. "I miss this." She called the police. They didn't find anything. No signs of forced entry, no fingerprints, no suspicious activity in the hallway footage. She even stayed with a friend for a week. But when she came back home, everything was exactly how she left it. Except for one thing. Her bathroom mirror had writing on it. Not with a marker, not blood. It was foggy, from steam. And written in that fog were 4 words. Still here, still close. She moved out the next morning, found a new apartment, changed her number, told her job, cut all online contact. For a few weeks, it worked. Then one night, her new neighbor knocked on her door. A young guy, maybe 30. "Hey, I hate to ask," he said, "but is your brother staying with you? Or boyfriend?" Lisa blinked. "No, why?" "Oh, it's just, I saw someone coming out of your apartment last night. Tall guy, hoodie. Looked like he had a key." She checked her door. No scratches, no signs of forced entry. She called the landlord, begged him to change the locks again. He did. And for a while, she tried to live normally again. Until one evening, she was vacuuming and noticed something odd. The hallway smoke detector was blinking red, even though she didn't have a smoke problem. She got on a chair and opened it. Inside, there was a tiny camera, wired, battery-powered, and tucked behind it. A small note, folded neatly. She opened it with shaking hands. It read, "You look better in this apartment." The police came. This time, they took it seriously. They found tiny pinhole cameras behind 3 smoke detectors, one inside her lamp, and one tucked into a vent. When they traced the wiring, it led to a nearby unit that had been vacant for months. Or so they thought. Inside, they found food wrappers, a sleeping bag, and a wall, completely covered in photos of Lisa. Most of them taken after the breakup, some through her window, some clearly from inside her apartment. And one was a photo of her sleeping, taken just days ago. Jacob was gone. By the time police arrived, the unit had been abandoned. But the most chilling thing? The apartment had a shared crawl space, a small, hidden attic-like passage that connected multiple units. That's how he got in. That's how he watched. They never found him. Lisa moved again, left the state, changed her name legally. She deleted social media, got a burner phone, and hasn't used online dating ever since. I asked her once why she wanted this story told, and she said, "Because I thought breaking up meant I was finally safe. But that's not how obsession works. I stopped loving him, but he never stopped watching me. So if you're ever in a relationship that feels off, trust your gut. Love shouldn't make you feel trapped. And if you ever break up and feel like someone's still around, maybe you're not being paranoid. Maybe they never really left." This story was told to me by someone I'll call Sarah. That's not her real name. She asked me to keep her identity secret, and I promised I would. She spent years trying to escape the shadow of a past relationship that turned into a nightmare she could never have imagined. Sarah met Mark in a small town where people still believed in simple things. Friendly hellos, smiles across the street, and love that felt like it could last forever. Mark was charming. He paid attention in a way that felt rare, remembering details no one else cared about, sending texts that said exactly what she wanted to hear. At first, it was easy to believe in the fairy tale. Dates were perfect. Gifts came wrapped with little notes, and every moment felt like a page from a romance novel. Sarah believed she had found her person. But love, she told me, can hide the darkest shadows. After 6 months, the caring smiles began to change. What started as little questions, where were you? Who were you with? Why didn't you answer my texts? Slowly grew into demands. Passwords were requested for safety. Calls came in the middle of the night, not out of concern, but to check if she was where she said she was. Sarah's world shrank, piece by piece. The decision to break up was both terrifying and freeing. She packed a bag one quiet evening and told Mark she needed space. No shouting, No tears, just a calm certainty that this was the end. Mark's reply was simple but chilling. "I'll wait for you." No matter what, Sarah believed she had escaped. But obsession is a shadow that follows, no matter how fast you run. After the breakup, things started to unravel in ways Sarah couldn't explain. Strange noises in her apartment late at night. The faint creak of floorboards, the softest whisper in a silent room. Objects would be out of place, doors unlocked when she was sure she'd locked them. Her phone buzzed at odd hours, with no caller ID, only silence on the other end. Texts came from numbers she didn't recognize, messages that hinted someone was watching. "I'm closer than you think," one read. Another said, "Miss your laugh today." She installed cameras, hoping to catch the intruder. The footage often showed nothing, but Sarah could feel eyes on her even in the stillness. Friends thought she was imagining things. Maybe paranoia, they said. But Sarah knew the truth. She was never alone. One day, her landlord helped her check the attic and crawl space above her apartment. What they found chilled Sarah to her core. A small, makeshift hideout, filled with a sleeping bag, food wrappers, and a notebook. The pages were filled with detailed notes about Sarah's routines, habits, and even private moments. Photos taped to the walls showed Sarah inside her own apartment, taken through vents and windows. The sense of violation was complete. One terrifying night, Sarah woke to the sound of breathing close to her bed. She turned on the light and saw Mark standing there, his eyes cold and empty. His whisper filled the room, "You belong to me." The police came soon after, but found no sign of him. Just a note left behind. "I'm always watching." Sarah tried to escape. She moved to a new city, changed her phone number, disappeared from social media. But the terror followed. A package arrived at her new place. Inside, a photo of her sleeping, taken just days before. The words, "Distance means nothing," were written on the back. Now, Sarah lives in constant fear. She double-checks every lock, sleeps with the lights on, and looks over her shoulder. She told me, "I thought breaking up would set me free, but some obsessions never end." If you ever feel a little too watched, a little too followed after a breakup, remember Sarah's story, because sometimes exes don't just walk away, they get closer, and sometimes they never leave.